This video is presented by EA Game Changers. Thank you to EA for allowing me to take part in the early capture of Madden NFL 19. Although this video is presented by the EA Game Changers, please know that the thoughts and opinions in this video are strictly my own. Now, let's get into the video. What is going on, everybody? It is EricRayweather back here with some exclusive Madden 19 gameplay. Yes, this is exclusive Madden 19 gameplay from EA Play. I was able to capture a lot of content while I was down there thanks to EA, and I have tons of more videos coming, so you definitely want to make sure to be subscribed and click the bell so that you don't miss any uploads. I'm going to have tons of videos coming out every day for at least the next week or so that nobody else is going to be having. So just to start it off here, we just did something light, did a little Saints versus Panthers gameplay. Obviously, most of y'all know I'm a Saints fan. I actually played this on pro difficulty just to keep things light so we can get some, a lot of big plays and flashy plays to show you guys, because sometimes you play on all Madden and the computer just gets a little crazy. So like I said, wanted to keep things light and just have a lot of cool stuff for you to see in the game, some big catches, some big hits and things like that. But so far, of the limited time I got to play with Madden 19, I did enjoy it for the most part. There definitely are still some things that need to be tweaked. There was a lot of, feedback that me and other guys definitely gave to the devs and said, hey, you need to, tune this or check this out, or, I kept seeing this little glitch pop up and happen. So, they know about a lot of these things, a lot of things that I told them, they said, yeah, we actually already have that fixed in the final build. So keep that in mind. This is not the final build of the game. This build was about 3 weeks old by the time EA Play was happening, so they already had later builds of the game at that point. As I get an interception with Ken Crawley, the #2 cornerback for the New Orleans Saints. Really enjoying Ken Crawley's come up. He's really been really solid for us, and hope he takes that next step this year. But yeah, just keep in mind this isn't the final build of the game. Sometimes the player models can look a little glitchy and goofy. We did talk to the devs about that, and they said that they were aware of it and that it was already fixed in the final build. I don't think you're going to see too much of that in this gameplay, but I do have another gameplay coming where some of the player builds are going to look a little goofy. It's kind of an in-game glitch that happens. It's not anything too crazy, but it's kind of deals with their shoulder pads. But he said that is fixed already, but certain things they couldn't have fixed in time for EA Play. They wanted to actually have something there for people to play. So, just keep those little things in mind. But anyway, yeah, here with the Saints, just trying to get glitchy here with Alvin Kamara. Going to string together some moves, a juke, a spin. That's really one of the new things with Real Player Motion, the ability to kind of string moves together, jukes, spins, and back into jukes. There I kind of did a little spin into a juke, and it was pretty cool the way, like, when you string it together, you kind of feel the difference when you string it together, as opposed to like just doing a juke and then a few steps later doing a spin. You kind of feel like the animations like stick together. And here we scored a touchdown with Michael Thomas, and we're going to celebrate. Team celebrations, really big thing this year, as you see right here. I do have a video coming later that's going to be strictly on celebrations, but you're going to get to see a couple of them in this video. This is one of the more generic team celebrations where they're kind of like the Marshawn Lynch, like wild and out type deal. That's one that I saw a good bit during this past week when I was playing the game. But there's tons of celebrations. There's signature celebrations that only some certain players have. There's certain team celebrations that only certain teams have, like Juju's like Dragon Ball Z one, or the Vikings with the Duck Duck Goose, things like that. And they are just a menacing hit stick. I've got a video on hit sticks coming later as well, and there's just tons of new hit sticks, like tons of like just ragdoll hits in the game this year, like some really crazy hits. That's probably one of my favorite parts of Madden 19 that I was able to see in my brief time with the game, was just the new hit sticks are absolutely out of this world. Like, there was so many times we were playing and you would hear people behind me go, ooh, like every time there was a crazy hit stick, because believe me, some of the hit sticks are really vicious this year, and I think a lot of people are going to like that. Still no helmets popping off, but we know, most of y'all know by now, if you don't, that's an NFL issue. They're the ones keeping that out of the game. Otherwise, EA would have it in the game. Would be cool to see it in the game because it does happen in real life, but the NFL is a little soft and likes to not be too much fun at times. I'm surprised they let the celebrations come back, but I'm glad they did, because now we have them in Madden, which is fun. So up 7-0. Going against the computer is just so much different than going up against a regular player. It kind of can get boring playing the computer unless you're, I guess, a franchise mode guy. But I don't usually play computer games too much, so this was, it kind of got a little boring for me at times, just because it's kind of easy to predict what the computer is going to do at times. But, since it was new, pretty much one of my first gameplays on the game. I was just trying to have a lot of fun with it as Cam Newton is trying to get his team down the field here. Cam Newton actually winds up overthrowing quite a lot of passes in this gameplay, which is, I mean, I guess that's kind of realistic to real life, right? Because Cam Newton's not the most accurate QB ever, and you know, we did sweep the Panthers last year, so you know, I saw a lot of inaccurate passes from Cam last year as we pulled the broom out with the 3-0 sweep. No offense, Panther fans, but yeah, y'all got some work to do, because if we beat y'all, you know, another 2 times again this year, that's gonna be getting a little ridiculous. Y'all gotta at least get one, but don't think it's gonna happen. But you know, I'll be happy to be proven wrong there if y'all can get the victory. But anyway, keep going, and as you see, Cam Newton with the inaccurate passes, you know, just showing why he's still a good quarterback, but he's not like the upper echelon of quarterbacks. He did have an MVP a couple years ago. That was a phenomenal year he had a few years ago. He should have been on the cover of Madden that year. I believe they tried to get him on the cover that year, actually, but he apparently wanted like a ridiculous, insane amount of money that was just out of this world. So that's why we didn't get him on the cover that year. But instead, I think, is that the year that we got. Anyway, moving along here as we pop Cam Newton in the backfield with Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan got pretty loose this game. There was a lot of Cam on Cam crime, much like the regular season. So I would say the game is definitely pretty realistic to real life in that regard. So they'll take their 3. And, you know, we'll gladly take the 4-point lead, getting the ball back. Drew Brees about to go to work. Another really cool thing about the game this year that you'll probably see, you know, throughout some of my gameplays and also other people's gameplays that they're going to be posting, is this signature QB, like, animations when they hot route, you know. Like, Drew Brees has the one sometimes where he'll lick his fingers. You saw some of it in the trailer with Eli Manning and Tom Brady. All these QBs have their signature ways that they bark out orders. As we go over the top, Ted Ginn takes the top off the defense. The former Panther is walking in, and now we're just going to do a little dance on him, because, I mean, when you score a touchdown of that magnitude, you got to do a little bit of a dance, right? You can't just walk that one off. You got to show out a little bit. Ted Ginn abusing his former team. You got to feel pretty good about that. You know, it's always good to show out versus your former team. Ted Ginn had a pretty good season for us last year. Really surprised me, especially at his age. He really contributed a lot, and I'm excited to, you know, see if what he can contribute again this year. But anyway, as we took the top off the defense, seeing some replay action here. But yeah, I mean, so far for me, the game played really smooth. It definitely plays slower. It's definitely true. People have said it plays slower. It definitely does. As Barner gets lit up again, and by the kicker, and Morstead's going to throw some hands there too, just for good measure. So that's like a couple times already that Barner just got lit up. He's probably not feeling too good right now, but you know, that's just the kick return man's job. If you're going to take it out, you have to be willing to get the wood laid. But by the kicker, though, that's a little embarrassing. But anyway, yeah, the game does play a little slower because of the real player motion. It definitely will take a few games to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's just so much smoother. Like, you really, like, especially when in terms of hitting the hole, and that's something that they've definitely talked a lot about in the blogs so far this year. It's easier to hit the hole, but I mean that's also true for defense. It's easier to shoot the gaps with your linebackers on defense too, but it slows it down a little bit, and honestly, it really makes for better gameplay. If you remember, if some of y'all have been playing for a while, like Madden 10 was a really slow game, and to me, that was the best gameplay we ever had, was Madden 10. That was one of my favorite Maddens, especially gameplay-wise. It was phenomenal. As we go up top, Mike Thomas breaking the tackle. He's gonna go all the way. Top 5 receiver in the NFL, if you're asking me. That's my opinion. What do you think about it? But now we're gonna do a little dance, because again, when you take the top off of the defense, you gotta dance, and it looks like we're cooking up a little New Orleans gumbo, stirring the pot, eating it up. That's what we do down here in the Big Easy. We cook up a mean batch of gumbo, and Mike Thomas just serves some up for the Carolina Panthers. But anyway, yeah, the game definitely plays slower, but like I said, Madden 10 was one of the slowest games ever, as we see some replay action here. And that was one of the best gameplays ever. I think even if you go back to like Madden 15-ish, Madden 15 was a little slow too, I want to say. And the gameplay was, you know, there was a couple glitchy things that year, sure, but the gameplay overall was pretty good that year. So I don't think the game being slower is bad. I think it definitely makes for a more realistic game, as Barner gets lit up again, and that's like the 3rd time. And I think he might just want to, like, you know, call a touchback maybe, because at this point he's just, I mean, he's gonna get a concussion before the game's over at this rate. I mean, we're just kind of abusing him out there. But anyway, yeah, I definitely think it makes for better gameplay to slow it down. When the game gets too fast, that's how it gets super glitchy at times and super unrealistic, especially when it comes to, like, you know, jukes and spins in the open field. Now, you know, you slow it down, you can set your guy up and still pull off those jukes and spins, but also on the defensive side of the ball, it allows you, you know, the proper time to square up and try to stop those type of ball carriers by squaring up and making a sound tackle. as you see, we get some more cam on cam crime there. Like I said, very realistic to real life because that happens pretty often in the NFL. But anyway, we are up by 17. We missed the extra point. There was kind of some like glitchy stuff going on with the extra points at EA Play. Like sometimes the camera angle would get messed up on it again. Not something that's going to be in the final build of the game, but we're, you know, this is still like, you know, an early beta build of the game in a sense. And as Ken Crawley with his second pick of the game, and you'll notice the cornerbacks definitely make an effort to defend a lot more passes this year. It's not like last year with 91 zone where they just flat out jump every route, but you'll see in some later gameplay footage that I have coming, I've compiled a lot of different clips, and the DBs just really make an effort to, even if they can't jump the pass, like right there, you know, in years past that probably would have went over his head and, you know, either been caught or been an incomplete pass, but he actually is able to extend out a little further and get his hands on the ball, whereas in years past they wouldn't really put that effort in. And there's a lot of clips I have coming where in later videos where you'll see, like, even in instances where they can't pick the ball, they'll reach out and dive to swat the ball, which is something you rarely saw in years past. Like, if the ball was just slightly out of a defensive, you know, player's reach, they just simply wouldn't go for it. And now, if the ball's anywhere within that catch radius, even if they can't, you know, perfectly get their hands on the ball, they will reach out and try to swat it, or they'll jump up in the air and try to swat it away from a wide receiver. And I think that's great. The wide receiver and defensive back, you know, animations this year up against each other are really good. I did a video separately on that because there's so many great animations and just things that I want you guys to see that I wanted to compile them all in a video. So expect that video coming really soon. I don't want to just drop every video, you know, today. I'm going to definitely, you know, try to stretch them out a little bit and not bombard you with tons of new videos, give you something new to look at every day. So like I said, definitely make sure to be subscribed because you don't want to miss any of this exclusive content. We go back to the end zone. Cameron Meredith gets big with the aggressive catch. Let me tell you, high point passes, spoiler alert, they're a little OP right now. I definitely did tell the devs, I said, hey, you might want to tune this back a little bit. But in the state of the game I was playing, the high point passes were OP. Did a separate video on that as well, yes, so that will be coming too. And you just saw there, Cameron Meredith getting pretty crazy, going up against the entire defense with a crazy spin catch. Gets hit in midair. There are a lot of midair collisions this year, but he still held on to the ball. That is the free agent we signed in the offseason. Really happy about him. And Bonner kind of getting lit up again. He kind of spun out of it that time. Didn't take the worst hit in the world, but I mean, we've been scoring a lot. He's been returning a lot, so he's been taking a lot of punishment today. I think they need to give him a break because it's just getting a little rough out there for him. So we're up 24 in the fourth quarter. This game is definitely over, and Cam Newton is not doing anything to even attempt to get his team back in the game. He is still overthrowing the ball, but they're going to go out, you know, with some pride, going to get out there, you know, try to at least put some extra points on the board, make it look like it was a little more competitive than it was, but we all know the truth because, hey, we're all watching. But here we go with Greg Olson. Nice pass over the middle. Lattimore with the tackle. Was really disappointed. Didn't get much Lattimore footage. Ken Crawley was making all the plays this game. Lattimore, I guess he was just so busy locking his receiver down that Cam Newton never even threw his way. So maybe that's the explanation. But yeah, definitely really excited as you see a close-up of Lattimore there. Really excited about Lattimore. Was phenomenal last year. Hoping he doesn't regress because, you know, a lot of times you see rookies have such great years. Him and Kamara both. Hoping they don't regress. I hope they continue to build on what they did last year for us. And definitely two players I'm excited to watch for the next few years, you know, provided they stay healthy and stay with the team. So here we are, third down. We're just going to send a heavy blitz because I don't think Cam Newton is accurate enough and composed enough. And just like that, he completes it to Olson, and I missed the hit stick. That is one thing you're going to notice this year. It is very easy to miss hit sticks. If you are not lined up perfectly, you will flop on the ground pretty often, especially if you're trying to hit stick from the side. See, again, I tried to hit stick, flopped on the ground, and look at all the extra yardage I gave up to Olson. Again, try to hit stick, and I missed. That's two, really three in the last two plays, and you saw just on that first one of that play, I missed so early, and it just allowed him to get way down the field. Hit sticks are a lot harder this year, and this is on pro difficulty, so keep that in mind. This isn't all pro or all Madden, and I'm still missing hit sticks. So you really need to be careful with the hit stick this year. It's a very high risk, high reward this year, whereas in years past, you could hit stick almost every play. There weren't much repercussions if you missed. This year, if you try to hit stick, you're going to miss a lot if you're not perfectly squared up, and we get another sack on Cam Newton. He's hurrying up. He better score here because that's just pathetic to get this close and not score. But anyway, yeah, just be careful with the hit stick this year, guys. It is definitely in. Wow, Cam Newton is that's just terrible. He was wide open there. I mean, he was wide open. And they're going to take a field goal. Now, to me, I feel like, you know, for pride's sake, you got to go for the touchdown there. You're already down by a lot. Why are you taking a field goal there? Have some pride. Go truck your way into that end zone. Put the muscle on muscle and score. Now, we're just trying to get down the field and really just add insult to injury. But really, all in all, I'm just trying to get extra footage for you guys because I only had limited time on the game. So I was trying to get as much footage for you guys as I could. Obviously, if this was an online game or something, I would kneel it out, you know, take my W and go home. But this is a computer game. This is a first look at Madden 19. So we go up top again to Ted Ginn and pile on the points, and we're going to celebrate again because, I mean, when you take the top off the defense, like I said, you have to celebrate. Here, this is the bobsled celebration. You see they're getting it started, they're in, and now they're turning, they're jiving, they're moving, and then they're going to hop out of the bobsled because the race is over. That wasn't really one of my favorite celebrations. There's a lot of good ones you'll see in my upcoming video, but that is one that I saw kind of often, the bobsled one, as you see Ted Ginn taking the top off the defense for the second time this game versus his former team. Really great game. I would say Ted Ginn maybe player of the game, but maybe Drew Brees as well, because Drew Brees definitely put up. He threw 4 touchdowns, so Drew Brees is probably player of the game. Mike Thomas got 2, Ted Ginn got 2, and my goodness, Bonner got lit up again, and look at this. We have to run this back. My goodness, why did you do him like that? And then look, he points at the dead body. He is pointing at him on the ground. That is just too savage for me. That is, man, Bonner deserves, he deserves a pat on the back after this game as he throws it up again. I finally was able to get my pick with Lattimore, but somebody else, I can't remember who it was, came over and knocked it out of his hands. I could have got my Lattimore play on the last play of the game, but somebody knocked it out of my hands. But you know what? It was a great first game of Madden 19. Definitely got to put a whooping on the Panthers. Felt good to play with my Saints. But what did you guys think of this gameplay? Did you like how things look? Let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned for more videos coming up soon. And as always, I will see you guys next time.